What's happening, YouTube? This is the Blazers fan report, 300 level. Breaking news. Damian Lillard returns to Portland on a 3-year deal with a no trade clause. It's, I talked to some friends the other day about that. I think that would be the best place for him to go. He loves Portland. His family's there. Everybody, everybody thought he would be a ring chaser. But if you know Damian Lillard, he's been in Portland for a long time. He's not going to chase rings. He's going to do what's best for his family and for himself. This is just my opinion because I've been on Twitter and, you know, if you're on Twitter, that's kind of crazy. So people go all over the place. But in reality, I try to take a few minutes just to sit down and think about it. 3 years, he can rehab, he can be a mentor, scoot, be at home. He doesn't have to chase the ring. His legacy is great. He's a great player. And then I think everyone's questioning, you got two 35-year-old point guards, one coming off an injury and one banged up, but you still have a young point guard in Scoot. You got Yang or Yang. I had this discussion earlier today with Mike Wally. People are saying Yang, but it's spelled Yang. Well, I'll call him Yang. So you got two young guys, and Damian just released something on Twitter. It says "Rip City," and it's a slow pan of the locker room, and it ends with his locker right next to Scoot. So that will be great for Scoot to learn from Dame Lillard. He's at home. Everybody's, happy. Joe Cronin apparently mended fences because if you remember, I don't think Dame asked out, but it kind of came apparent that it was something that he wanted, and Blazers weren't going. And I don't think Cronin gave him his wishes to go to Miami and just kind of made the best deal, which turns out now, basically the Blazers traded Dame for himself and got back Dame, Drew Holiday, Kamara, a couple pick swaps, a first round pick, and a few other trades. Brogdon was swapped for Denny and from the Wizards. So you got a mix of veterans and youngs. And in my last column, I did write, Blazers need to go after an all-star, kind of similar to what the Houston Rockets did for Kevin Durant. Now, Damian Lillard was not on my mind at that time as an all-star just because he's hurt and sitting out this year. And everybody's different with injuries. You don't know how someone's going to react to it. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. Klay Thompson tore his Achilles. And Dame's a shooter, so he's going to score. He might not be as explosive as he used to be, but he is 35 to begin with. So you're still going to get the points there. You're still going to get Dame time. I'd still want the ball in his hand. It just might take him a while to adjust, but I think his comfort level of being at home, because we all watched him in Milwaukee in the first year, you could tell he was just homesick and his routine was off. He was used to being in Portland for all those years, and then ended up out of nowhere being in Milwaukee. And, that ended, the way it ended. Now he's making $77 million a year, first year to sit out and a no trade clause. So he's definitely a loyal and excited to be back home and put some, I don't know what that does. If Adam Silver was correct about talking to people that were interested in buying the Blazers, I'm sure they were informed, or all parties that were interested in buying were informed. 40 million over 3 years on top of what the Bucks are paying. I mean, that's smart. So I want everybody on Twitter that's saying, you could have gone to Boston and got a ring. You could have gone to Miami and got a ring. Yeah, you can get a ring, but you're not going to get that kind of money. They're going to sign you for the league minimum, and you're not going to be at home. I bet you a lot of teams wanted him to be around the team, so that means you have to go to Miami. He'd have to go to L.A. He'd have to go to Boston, but Boston's in a 1-year hiatus with same thing, Achilles for Tatum, who's 27. So all around, Portland gets its all-star, not the one that I was looking for, but they get that all-star just to be around the team next year. And if they're scratching at the play-in, I don't want Dame to play and get hurt again, but you never know what what a person responds to it. That's so different now. Used to tear your ACL and your career is over. Now that's just like that's a procedure. You switch it out and you keep going. Now the Achilles is been coming along. Long as it was like Tommy John surgery. So what you put into your rehab, you'll find out. But again, Dame Lillard back with the Blazers, home, ending his career. So blink of an eye that he was in Milwaukee. I think it's a good thing for the Portland Trailblazers. I think it's a good thing for Scoot Henderson. So that was their free agent signing. I still have a roster spot open for the mid-level exemption. I don't know if this means Drew's going to be traded at the trade deadline or before training camp starts, but at least you with some options, at least for to fill a roster spot. And also, you got Caleb Love. If you've been watching summer league, that kid can play. He's poised. The NBA is not going to be too fast for him. I think he understands the ups and downs of the NBA, and he's not going to be overwhelmed. And being in Chauncey's position of playing defense, I think he's in. I think he's a rotational player right out of the way. I don't think he's a Rip City remix player. From what I see from summer league, I think he can fit in nicely into the rotation. But you need to add at least one or two more people for training camp after summer league. So we'll see who breaks into the roster. And Ryan Rupert seems to be playing well in the summer league, and Kamara. And I watching that ESPN interview with Chauncey Billups as he was sitting down, kind of focusing. It was kind of funny focusing on defense first, and they never really got a offensive identity with out Dame Lillard. Dame left, and it's been throughout 3 years, 3 seasons. So now he's back. Maybe you put in the offense, not run around Dame, but kind of find an offense that's up and down scoring. Kind of Terry Stotts was always a great offensive coach. But you got James Posey and you got the guy from the Grizzlies, or the guy from the G League that they just picked up for being an assistant coach, and James Posey is an assistant head coach. So we got some guys that with a different look for the Blazers this year that hopefully can bring that offensive identity, running up and down the court, and where you don't have to pick up the team full court with the young players and wear them out by the time the play-in comes. And that I think that's what kind of happened. I think they got burnt out the last 5 or 6 games of the last year when they were trying to do a crapshoot to try to make the play-in. But I take out of this, I'm happy to have Damian Lillard back in Portland, back in a uniform. I think it makes sense. I don't think he's a ring chaser. I think he just wants to hoop. I know people say you can hoop anywhere, but I don't think you can once you're 35 and you have a family. You got your kids there. You built a nice house there, and he just wants to be there. So I think that works out for him. I think it works out for the city of Portland. And in that time span, the Blazers will be sold, and they'll have new ownership, and we'll see what kind of direction they go in there as far as personnel. Hopefully it's ownership with deep pockets and not a group ownership similar to the Dallas Mavericks. But we'll see that announcement soon. I mean, the fire's there, and if you read my article on Substack, Blazers fan 300 level report, it gets into the Rose Garden Moda Center debate of whether or not it needs to be torn down or renovated. I think a renovation's fine. I'm here in Los Angeles, and the Staples Center came 3 years later. TD Garden House was there at the same time as the Rose Garden. Mike Wally and I bought the season ticket packages when the Rose Garden first came out, and we would go to every game. And it was quite larger than the Memorial Coliseum, obviously, so it was never sold out. That ended the streak of the Portland Trailblazers selling out every game. But the Rose Garden's fine. Staples Center was modeled after it, so it's very similar to it. Looks at it. I go to Blazer Clipper games every season. I haven't been to the Intuit Dome, but Staples Center needs new seats. They did change up the concession stand in the other area, so just lightly getting into that. I think it just needs a renovation. upgrade it in the offseason, change the locker rooms, get some more high tech stuff in there, and then I think you're good to go. You got the fire there, make it NHL ready, get four professional teams there. I know Portland's still chasing baseball, but we'll see. So thanks for. I just had to jump on and let you guys know about my thoughts about Dame Lillard. I think it's an excellent thing to come to fruition for the Blazers and for the city of Portland. To me, that means Dame Lillard forever a Blazer. He did the right thing, not just for himself, but as for his family and for financially. I mean, that's a smart move to make $77 million in a year. Just think about that. Devin Booker's making 66 million and playing. Damian Lillard's rehabbing, mentoring Scoot Henderson, and all the other young players on the Blazers roster. So until next week, I'll jump on here and we'll talk about some more summer league and what the Portland Trailblazers are up to. All right, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And welcome back to Rip City, Damian Lillard. All right.